The title of this video is My Teammate Stole All My Paintball Guns. And sure enough, you haven't been clickbaited. That's exactly what happened. Now, if you guys like this format, leave a like, subscribe. Hopefully this is something I can do, because I've been playing paintball forever, and some of these stories might help you guys deal with the scene in the future. So let's get into it. At this point in time, I was like 14 or 15. I was too young to drive. I was like a high school freshman, and I had to rely on my teammate to get to practice. So this guy's name was Henry. I'm not going to even bullshit you. That's his name. And he's like, hey, Scott, let's do some drills. Let's go to the woods, because I was growing up in the north part of Chicago. So there are a lot of wooded areas where we can go behind trees and practice our gun skills and that type of shit. So normal day, like we go out, we drive to the field, snap at each other for a bit, and on the way home, we're going to grab fast food. So we stop at a local Wendy's, and we're in there for, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 minutes talking about our little shitty local three-man team, talking about what events we're going to play, how our guns are shooting, normal shit, eating off the dollar menu like the broke-ass kids we are. So after we're eating, we go back to his car, and the door is open, and I'm like, oh shit, something has totally gone wrong here. It looks like somebody broke into his car. So at first, I had no idea that Henry was involved in this, mainly because his gear was stolen along with mine. But one of the things that kind of stuck out was that Henry did not want to call the police. I kept telling him that the police would do a better job of investigating the crime, but he kept deflecting me. So he just thought that if we cruised around the area and we kept our eyes open, maybe we can catch the gear bag thief with all of our markers, and we could solve this on our own, because we're smart kids. We can totally do that, right? So sure enough, after searching around without the police, he dropped me off back at my parents' house without my gear. And I was sad. I may have even cried, because my paintball career was over. I had to bust my ass to get a used Shocker SFT, and now it was gone. My dreams were shattered. So fast forward maybe a week or two, and my other teammates, Mike and Andrew, said, hey Scott, we found your guns. I'm like, oh my god, you found them! But they found them listed on the internet. Now, PB Nation was the main buy-sell trade site, but these guns were listed on PB Review. So we dug into the account, we looked at the account history, we saw what other markers this guy had reviewed, we saw what fields he played on, and at that point I'm like, I gotta take this to a detective. So my parents and I, we presented the PB Review account to a cybercrimes unit at the local precinct, and they figured out that the IP matched Henry's. So I'm like, oh my god, it all makes sense to me now. The reason why Henry didn't want to call the police was because he was in on it the whole time. So while we were eating, and we were taking a long time to eat, he texted his boy to make it look like a break-in, and he just left the car unlocked. So fast forward to me sitting down at the local precinct with my parents and the detective, and Henry's on the other side of the table, and Henry is basically pleading for mercy, saying that he's going to get shipped off to Marines in a few weeks, and if we really go and press charges, he would not be able to enlist. It would ruin his military career. So at that point in time, we started negotiating. Henry was like, you can have every single paintball item I own. I sold your Timmy, but you can get your Shocker back. And for the Timmy, I'll give you like a die DM5 and $300 cash, so you can play a lot of paintball, and it will be a come up for you. So this was a pretty heavy issue for me to sort through as a kid. Do I want justice for Henry, or do I want a tasty deal that will keep me involved in paintball and not ruin his life? So I took the deal. Henry did give me his DM5, all his masks, all his tanks, all his loaders, everything he had to basically make this issue go away. And the moral of the story is that the people who steal your paintball gear are normally people involved in the paintball scene. So even your teammate, nobody can be left out of suspicion once something gets stolen. And usually these things are inside jobs. So another thing I wanted to focus on the story time is how to prevent things from getting stolen. And I know my situation was kind of a freak case. That's like a really in-depth crime that was planned. It was nuts. It was really nuts. But for most thefts, it's just somebody sees something laying around at the field and they grab it. A lot of people steal headbands. So if you have a headband that's $100 or more, keep that shit on your head. And you know what? When you're staging, leave your wallet in the car, leave your phone in the car, leave your change of clothes in the car. Basically, everything you're not using stays locked up in your car. And I've been doing that, and I've avoided having any gear stolen since 2006, 2007. Theft is a big issue in the scene, and we got to get smarter, and we have to just stay vigilant. So hope you enjoyed the story, hope you enjoyed some of the random gameplay I put over it. This is Will Ball for Soup, signing out.
I'm hoping to stay active that long and longer. It's just kind of hard, it's a seasonal thing. Right? Player, yeah.